So last month, I got accepted to Motion Array as a music producer where I could upload my royalty-free music to start earning money from licensing that way. As you know, on this channel, we do a lot of stuff on beat selling and making money as a freelance music producer, but the licensing opportunities and the money that you can earn as a music producer doing that is something that I haven't discussed enough on the channel, so I'm really glad that I can finally do this video from 1 month of being up on Motion Array. Now, the quick disclaimers that I'll get out of the way quickly with Motion Array is this is a submission service, so you have to submit your work at first to get an account with Motion Array as well. So you can't just sign up, you need to provide some sort of value to them. Basically, when I first signed up to Motion Array, what I did was I sent them a link to my Spotify and some of my beats, and they actually weren't interested in my beats when I was signing up to them. They messaged me back saying they were interested in my Spotify tracks that I had up, and they wanted more instrumental and vocal, so songs with vocals in basically. That was the terms that they would let me be accepted onto Motion Array, so I gladly agreed to go along with that, and now here we are with Motion Array account. So now in this video, I'm going to be showing you how much I've earned in the first month on Motion Array, and not only that, but I'm going to give you my first impressions and thoughts on here, and if it's something that's worth it for you music producers, if you want to start getting an extra side income. So if you are new to this channel, smash the subscribe button right now, as it is the best way to support the channel, and let's break down my first month on Motion Array. Okay, so as I said, what we're looking at now is basically the hub of where you are as a seller on Motion Array. I do have an account. This is what it looks like as a seller profile. So I've been up a month and I've got 2 followers. I don't know if followers really mean much at this stage, but this is basically all the tracks that I have uploaded. I think I'm on about 12 tracks that I've uploaded so far. All of these are tracks which are on Spotify. Now, the reason why this is really good for me to have done is because it's a really good way to track things like the publishing and sort of like royalties. So if something gets released, and even though this is under royalty-free music, I was recommended by Motion Array to upload my Spotify tracks. So for now, I've continued to do that, and I have a lot of songs which are up on Spotify. So this is kind of like a back catalogue, and it's really important if you're going to be on these licensing sites to have a back catalogue of work, because that's what's going to sell yourself to them when you're submitting your work to be uploaded onto this site, Motion Array. And again, they weren't interested in my beats, even though I've got a beat store with 370 pop instrumentals in all kinds of styles. They wanted stuff with vocals on, so it's kind of refreshing, so I can keep these as 2 separate things, my beat setting and my stock music licensing to Motion Array. But this has also meant that this is the sort of content I'm now creating for them. So again, if we're looking at the submissions, basically the first impressions I got from Motion Array once I was signed up, it was a little bit of a hassle because you have to fill out sort of like tax forms and sort of things and fill in loads of information. There's a lot of waiting around for emails back and forth, but eventually, probably about 2 weeks it takes, you do get the account, and I'm all nicely signed up now, which is really cool. And first off the bat, you can upload 5 tracks, and they're the first 5 tracks which get approved or declined. Basically kind of like a trial and error period where Motion Array can get an idea of the sort of stuff you're going to be uploading. But I did find it was a bit weird because they messaged me saying that they wanted my Spotify tracks on there, but I still had to submit them for reviewing. Some of them got declined where I just had to change a certain amount of parameters up because they're very specific on not only the file type, but stuff like the bit rate and the hertz, as well as down to how you label the files. And if you provide any sort of music tracks with vocals, they want the lyrics and they want it in a package as a zip file to send across. So there's all these sorts of things considered, but they do explain that to you in an email they send across. So don't worry if you don't remember that when it comes to it. And now I'm at the stage where I had them 5 tracks accepted to be on. So now what happens is when you got them on, you get 10 submissions, and it's only ever 10. So basically you only have 10 submissions at a time, so you can upload all of your works to Motion Array, especially if you have a lot, but you can only do it 10 at a time, and it does take anything from 3 days up to even 2 weeks to get stuff accepted on here. But it doesn't really matter because I'm going to show you what it's been like from a money point of view and an income from the first month of Motion Array. So if we go over to my insights, this is how much I've earned in 1 month so far, or as an estimate, $38. Now, you might think that's a lot, you might think that's not a lot, but when I think about this in terms of comparing it to beat selling, sometimes when you upload beats to a beat store, it can take 2 months before you get your first sale at all. So the fact that I got accepted to Motion Array straight away and already started earning money is crazy. I was not even expecting. I would have been happy if I made $10 in my first month on here, because I have the sort of theory of it with a lot of things. The more content you upload to here, the more downloads you're going to get and the more you're going to make a Motion Array. So the fact I've only got basically 11 tracks, I think, at the moment up on here, and I've already made $38, and this is increasing every day. And I even had a download 14 minutes ago, and so far I've had 224 downloads of my music. And this is in a month, which is crazy. This is so good and so much better than I thought it would be. Whether I can treat this as gospel going forward, we don't know if this is quiet, if it can get any better. We don't know if it will get worse next month. All of this is sort of like a time-telling thing, but from a first impression of the first month, I've been very impressed with how quickly my tracks have been engaged with and downloaded and hopefully getting used by people who use Motion Array. Now, the payment thing's very interesting, and it's kind of like a snowball effect throughout the month. So basically, only like 4 days ago, I was only on $20, but how they do their payments, especially for royalty music, they have certain tiers for how many downloads. So basically, the more downloads you get throughout a month, the more you're going to earn as a percentage. So when the level 1, so the first 20 downloads that you get on Motion Array, you get 10% of the royalty earnings, which isn't a lot, and this number here ticks up really slowly. But I'm telling you, 20 downloads is something that happens very quickly. I'm getting about 20 downloads a day now. This is happening all very quickly. The more tracks I upload, the more downloads I've been getting. So that's a really good sign. So then the next tier, level 2, is between 21 and 120. So when you get over 120, which is the tier I'm on now, you get 20% royalty earnings. And that's when you really start to see this number here go up a lot quicker. And the maximum you can get is level 7. If you get over 4,700 downloads in a month, you get 40% royalty earnings. Now, this does reset every single month. So basically, at the end of September, this will go back down to here and we start again. But one thing that's really reassuring for me is in this level 7, the fact that you can get 4,700 downloads, and they see that as a realistic goal that you can get in sort of like the better spectrum of downloads to earnings. It shows there's a very high ceiling for how much you can actually earn on Motion Array. Now, I've seen YouTube channels where people earn a lot more. I've seen YouTube channels where people are earning less. So again, in this first month, it's really hard to tell how much I'm actually going to earn from Motion Array going forward, but the early signs are there and it's very positive, especially as a side income. I think if I can get this up to about $100 a month, basically in the 3 digits, this is a very solid side income for what's really not a lot of effort if you have the back catalog. Now, that's a big emphasis. If you do not have the back catalog, then you're going to struggle in the early stages unless you can really churn out songs or beats. Now, I'm not saying from music maker to music maker that you have to do songs with vocals. That's literally just what they wanted after hearing my music. And of course, the music you make is different to me, so they may want something different from you when you submit your works to be a seller on Motion Array. You've just got to trust in your craft and hope that they're vibe when you go for it. Because at the same time, I did actually pitch all my stuff to Artlist, and Artlist weren't actually interested in the same Spotify tracks that Motion Array were interested in. So you've just got to do it and basically hope for the best. But yeah, Motion Array, first month on there, very happy with it. We've still got the rest of the month to go, so this number could go up even more. I reckon we could get to $50 by the end of the month, which would be a very solid first month on Motion Array. So yeah, guys, I like to think that's a realistic first impression of the first month been on Motion Array. This is a very good side income that you could get as a music maker, even not just a music producer, but if you're an artist with songs up on Spotify, I highly recommend you get yourself on here as well, because you could be earning extra money for your music on here as well. And of course, Motion Array helps with all the rights and licensing stuff, so you don't have to worry of anyone stealing your works. So yeah, guys, I hope this video was helpful. Keep making music, and I'll see you in the next video.